Hey everybody, give this one a chance. I was expecting for this to be an unusual style of review for me. I was expecting to go through, give you just a real quick overview of the thing, and then repeat what we all know by now, that the LEGO large action figures of this style look good when they're based on robots and fully armored up and helmeted humans, but humans with no helmet where you're actually seeing, face and skin and such, they don't turn out so well. But this one is not following the mold. This is the best the best shaped figure of its type to date, and at the very least, it's a phenomenal parts pack. Yeah, that's right, I said it, phenomenal. This head is not phenomenal. Hey, it looks pretty good in and of itself. I think that the molding is done nicely. The printing is done pretty nicely. It makes for a pretty cool kind of a comic universe reimagining of Jyn Erso, but it does not look like Felicity, the actual actress. I mean, where's the smoky eye? The shape of the face, it's just not right. So it's not a good live action representation, but as something that's stylized, I think that it works out pretty well. But far more interesting to me is this body piece. It's a female torso, and it's unusual that they chose this particular character to add this to, because this character obviously has a jacket on, and the jacket would not be so form-fitting. So if there was any time to not go super thin with the waist, it was this time. But that is an interesting piece. I'm sure they will use it again. And I think it is a pretty nice piece. It's kind of sporty. I'm glad that they didn't go super exaggerated with the proportions. And it fits in nicely with the shape of these newer leg pieces, these large armor pieces, or just shape pieces that have been used in this wave of figures. You've got that curvature up at the top that works pretty well, and these do cover all the way around, so it's a good way to get a couple more of those. Speaking of armor pieces and things that you add on for shape, you've got a bunch of dark bluish gray armor pieces included in this set, which is useful, or which are useful for folks who do custom builds with this system. You get 3 of them in length 5 and 2 of them in length 4. You also get two this time, dark tan hand pieces, so the gloved hands, and also has a couple of those Star Wars, to date Star Wars specific shin pieces, front of legs, and they've gone with fairly thin calves here, which are built up, but they work out pretty well. It also has dark brown feet on this one. Also has a dark brown upper back piece back here to hold the gearbox. It uses the torso piece that has no ball end at the top, so the dark brown piece has the ball end in it. And this does have an action feature, which is just by now a fairly straightforward alternating arms feature. So one goes up, one goes down, and if you take the weapon out of the hand temporarily, now it looks like she's running and running. These things on her back are batons. These are intended to be removed and used with that action feature. And when you take these off, it's much easier to actually access this because they kind of get in the way of the knob there. I'm glad that things don't look too bright back here. I don't like the blue, but it doesn't stand out too much given that you've got a number of different colors here. But put the batons in the hands and they actually are free moving. They're able to rotate about. Turn these hands sideways actually, and now this will start to kind of rotate around. So it's actually using the feature to do something beyond just moving the hands. This marksman rifle is an interesting looking thing, a little bit different take on the blaster based on the same main husk for the whole thing, which is done in dark gunmetal gray. It would look a lot better if the sight would just stay, but it falls down, and this is actually used as the trigger for the spring-loaded shooter inside of there. And even with a bolt in place, unfortunately, that just falls in, which I don't think is what it's supposed to do, but it just won't stay where I want it to be. But all interesting pieces here. So black Baraki eye, black lightsaber crossbar connection from Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Black, this is a ice cream cone piece. And then also the piece inside of there, I'm not sure if you can quite tell exactly what that is. There's a second one. It's a 90-degree piece, Technic piece, which is also used here for the handle, so that'll show it to you better. 90-degree piece with 2 axles coming off and a pinhole in the center of it. It's a dark bluish gray Technic piece, the 3 wide with 2 axle holes and 1 perpendicular pinhole going through it. So good colors of pieces and good pieces used here. Also, this one right here is one that we've not gotten too many of to date. This piece with the bar hole in one end and bar at the opposite end in light bluish gray. So like I said, at the very least, it's a really good parts pack. Jyn Erso, Lego Star Wars Rogue One large action figure. Different in mostly good ways, but still definitely not perfect. Let me know what you think about it. Share your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.